Not the official halfway point of the season, but a 4-day break just around that halfway mark allows us to reflect and maybe project some of the award winners. And it seems like there's a lot more star power in the NHL, maybe because a number of those players are playing for Canadian teams, but it's been a fun start to the season.
It has been an electric start to the season. 3-on-3 hockey's been great in many ways. With how many teams are still involved in playoff races, this might be the best NHL season in maybe 2 decades.
Yes, forget the playoff races for now. It's the individual hardware races. The players won't say it matters, but we do right now. They will at the end of the year, but John's mid-season projections. So here are the likely Final Four as it stands now for the Calder Trophy. And John, your winner, if it was announced today, would be?
My winner, the Calder, goes to Mitch Marner, who I think has been the true catalyst for the Toronto Maple Leafs this year when you consider he leads the team in assists and has played probably more clutch time for the Maple Leafs in the first half of the season. I think Marner has been remarkable. That is not a knock at Austin Matthews, everyone. I just think what Mitch Marner has brought to this team is a great deal more dimension and personality than any of the younger guys. And hopefully that extra year of junior hockey, which has paid off, hopefully he'll receive that recognition.
First 2 months of the year, it looked like the Vezina was going to be an obvious choice and perhaps the Hart again. But here we are with the 4 finalists, and you know who, Carey Price, is not one of them. Who wins it?
Well, I think the guy who we thought was going to be the Vezina Trophy winner in the first 2 months of the season will end up being the Vezina Trophy winner, and that's Sergei Bobrovsky, who, let's face it, when you look at the other teams, perhaps the Columbus Blue Jackets aren't as developed, aren't as deep as the other 3 teams that are invested. I think the Columbus Blue Jackets and Sergei Bobrovsky have become the best story in the NHL this year, and for that reason, I give Bobrovsky the Vezina. You know what? As goes Bobrovsky, so goes the Blue Jackets. That's good enough for me.
Watching that top 100 and the collection of defensemen, remember, it seemed to be guys would win the Norris trophies in bunches, whether it was Bork, whether it was Lidstrom. Now, we haven't had someone take this and make it their own, and it may be a different winner this year. Who do you got on the blue line?
Well, I don't think there's, again, much surprise based on what we've seen the first half of the season. I'd love to pick Shea Weber for what he's done in Montreal, but Brett Burns has been remarkable for the San Jose Sharks. He doesn't have the hardest shot, we know that. He might have the most accurate shot. He has the shot that's easiest to deflect. That's at the offensive side. What's really improved for him, Brad, this year is his defensive hockey. And in many ways, I think he has changed the whole scope of what defensemen should do, particularly on the power play and the point. Joe Pavelski will tell you it's easy to deflect a Brett Burns shot. For me, Brett Burns, again, a West Coast guy, 2nd year in a row. Doughty wins it last year. Norris Trophy goes to Brett Burns.
Couple of Hart Trophy guys in the conversation in terms of the active players that were part of that top 100. One of them being Sidney Crosby, who won his first Hart in his 2nd season, and maybe a guy that's in his 2nd season is going to take it away from the Grand.
Yeah, you know what? I tell you what, it's hard to vote against Sid, and I probably don't think it as a vote against Sid, but what Connor McDavid has done for the Edmonton Oilers, let's face it, they're now 64 points, the Oilers are. That's tied for first in the Pacific Division. Connor McDavid has elevated the Edmonton Oilers. Connor McDavid has made himself the most valuable player in the NHL simply because he's changed the personality of a franchise in so many ways. Sidney Crosby had a great 2016. Sidney Crosby continues to have a great 2017, one would assume. But to me, Connor McDavid is the most valuable to his team. You take McDavid off the Oilers, I shudder to think where they were. You take Crosby off, the Penguins are still in the playoffs.
All right, 5 seconds. Coach of the year.
Coach of the year, Bruce Boudreau.
Bruce Boudreau. All right.
And manager of the year, Chuck Fletcher.
John Shannon's mid-season award choices in the National Hockey League.